It's 8 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, September 3rd, 2023. And it's about 75 degrees. I've just moved them to the fifth section of fifth cell of the third section on the rotation that started on the 25th of August. So come Monday afternoon, when I move them to the next section, we'll be halfway done with this rotation. So I was reading up on ragweed. Oh, that's cool. Let me zoom in there. I was reading up on ragweed. By the way, that's a banana spider. They're perfectly harmless towards humans. So I like to leave them alone as much as I can, though. So I was reading up on ragweed one more time. And one of the things that they talked about was how you can exterminate it. And they said if you can mow it every 21 days, every 3 weeks, and what'll happen is the ragweed won't be able to recover. So if the cattle are munching on the ragweed, or the sheep or whatever, and they keep coming back to it every 21 days, what is this guy doing? Did he give up on the grasshopper, or? No, I think he injected him with the venom, and the grasshopper's tied up enough that he can't get away. I think the spider was trying to tie him up too early. Let the venom do its magic. Then he'll go down and wrap it again. But that grasshopper's done for. So, yeah. Ragweed, like most weeds or non-grass things, they just don't do well if you keep mowing at them on a regular cycle. Bamboo as well. Bamboo grows extremely rapidly and spreads very rapidly as well. But that's counting that the bamboo is able to get the nutrients stored in their rhizomes, the roots, right? And so one technique you can use if you want to graze bamboo is you have an area where the bamboo is free to grow, and then you only allow the cattle to graze outside of that area. I think that grasshopper might just get away. Maybe it's a bigger bite than the spider can take. It doesn't have enough in him to finish it off. Huh, interesting. Yeah, my field has tons of these spider webs all over the place, and these banana spiders are everywhere. So I think he's given up. He's done. So, yeah, keeping the cattle moving and bringing them back to the same spot of ground is one of the secrets for weed control, if you want to do it naturally. Let's watch the cows in the sunrise. So, again, I've said this multiple times. It looks really bad with the goat weed, but the cows are eating between the goat weed. And between the goat weed, there's plenty of grass. So I don't see any problem here. None whatsoever. I assume what's going to happen is the goat weed is going to die off in the late fall and the winter. And then by the time spring comes around, there'll just be dry stalks poking up in the air. Because they're so dry, just stepping on them will be enough to knock them over. And then late spring, early summer, if the grass covers the ground well enough, like stuff like this, if it's all over the place, there's no way the goat weed's going to sprout. Even if the seed does sprout, it starts off so low to the ground that it's not going to get the nutrients it needs, and the grass will just outcompete it in terms of growth and everything. So this is an interesting part of my field, actually. This is the low part of my field, and so water tends to accumulate here. There's a couple areas like this where the water accumulates to go out of my field when there's too much of it. But this one's special because it's the lowest one. And I'm planning to build a real pond. And this is likely where I'll end up building it. At least the deepest part of it. And I had a guy come out here and survey and we do some measurements and calculations about how much dirt needs to move and all that kind of stuff. So the water runs down where I'm standing and walking, and then it hits this area here, where it just erodes the field and digs a deep hole, makes a little waterfall, you know. So I imagine I could probably fill this in with something so that it doesn't erode so much. But I've never really had a big problem with it. And frankly, I think the erosion's all but stopped. At least for the last couple of years, I haven't seen it erode at all. But yeah, if you're driving through the field and you don't know about this and you hit this with your side-by-side, you're gonna have a bad day. So, this big tree, still alive. Not the healthiest tree on my property. But the bank of the pond would be right where I'm about standing. And it would probably form kind of a moon shape where it comes down here and it kind of goes up there. And we would be sitting here because he'd dig this out to build the bank, so he'd make it deeper. And so it would be, I think he wanted to make it like 20 feet deep at the deepest part. And the reason for that is if you have a deep pond, one, you get more water in the pond, which is good. But also there's certain fish that you can grow. I forget, like, I don't know exactly, catfish or bass or whatever. Probably not bass, probably just catfish. But also it helps to keep the pond clear because all that sediment has somewhere to go. So, and we measured it out. So he did some calculations about how to build a pond using the minimum amount of dirt. That's what he came up with. Looks good. I'd like to do it. It's not cheap. Maybe it's cheaper now because construction is slowing down. But I've heard that here in Texas, there's tons of projects that were put on hold. Oh, here's a big berry bush. My oh my. I didn't realize I had this in my field. Yeah, but here in Texas, there's a lot of projects that were put on hold when housing prices were skyrocketing. And housing prices are still high, despite the interest rates. So, I'll have to check. See if he has time or if there's if the prices are different than they were when he quoted like 2 years ago. Anyway, we're almost at the duck pond. The ducks want their food. I'm thinking of taking this net down and just surrounding it with a wire to keep the cows out. I think that'll allow the ducks access to the cows, but provide them a refuge from the cows. Because the cows, they get in this pond and they just mess it up. So, all right, with that, I'm going to let you guys go. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.